Hi everyone. So welcome to this first UOS session. So we are going to talk about Bluez transition in Vivid. So just a little bit of introduction first. So I'm Didier Roche. I work on the desktop team, and we have Mathieu, who is working on the Font Foundation team and historically as Mountain Network Manager and all this kind of, networking stuff and Bluetooth as well. So we delayed for quite some cycles. Bluez update to Bluez 5. Bluez 5 will bring LTE support, so basically it will mean better battery life for phone or for the desktop. And is it you, Mathieu, or me?
So we are going to talk about Bluez transition in Vivid. So
one sec, I'm looking for which tabs is still open.
I muted,
so Mathieu, can you sum up maybe meanwhile what's
Sure.
new in this Bluez 5 version, please?
Yeah, so as you've mentioned, we've delayed this transition for quite a bit because of various issues, really. Updating to Bluez 5 meant for a long period of time breaking some forms of Bluetooth audio, specifically the headset audio, so when you could have speakers along with a microphone on the same Bluetooth device. And in a way that's still partly broken, but in progress of being fixed. And since it's likely that it will be fixed this cycle, then now it's really the time to start working on that update, especially since Bluez 4 is now, I think, 2 years old. It's getting increasingly difficult to get support for it from the Bluez upstream because everybody's passed to Bluez 5. Just all around the right moment for us to be doing that change.
Yeah, so I'm still fighting to find the right window, which has this tab with the streaming back. So I can't hear you back. Meanwhile, yeah. So thanks, Mathieu, for the update on what new version we have. So you started a little bit the work on that. We saw as well that Debian has transitioned to Bluez 5, so this is going to help us quite a lot. So Mathieu, can you continue on the current status of your initial work on Bluez 5?
I mean, initial work that's putting it largely because in a way Bluez is pretty much just a very straightforward merge from Debian. So I mean, I've tested it. I've tested that it seems to work okay-ish with A2DP on Ubuntu. That was a fair amount of time ago, but it was definitely breaking HSP. And we know that it's breaking, it would at least be breaking HSP on the phone, and wasn't currently really usable on a phone due to other issues, namely the kernel being too old, which is not an issue in the development release.
Right, we're still gonna stick, I think, with 3.4 for a while, unfortunately. So.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, on the phone, it's not as much of an issue because we have ways of working around these limitations. Basically, as long as there's still a derived distribution for RTM, then we can keep using that. We can keep using Bluez 4 on that, and that limits basically the size of the complexity. It limits the complexity to the Ubuntu Touch non-RTM releases.
Right, but I know at some point we're gonna branch RTM on from Vivid. So yeah, we need to check what is the planning in there, the release planning for for the next RTM and when we're gonna be branching off. So we actually.
Yeah, but at this point we'll also need to update the kernel or backport just the necessary patches to the kernel to support BlueZ5, or
Right.
or forward, I guess forward port the, or bring back the old management interface in BlueZ from BlueZ4 into BlueZ5, which is another option, but not one that looks very promising or interesting to do.
Right. Ideally, we would just support BlueZ5, right? And probably just backporting the kernel patches that are needed. I just all I'm saying is that whenever we land this in the desktop, we need to also coordinate. We need to ask at least with the people that are thinking and planning the next RTM, just in case for us to not be like completely out of sync with the next phone release.
So in that case, if I put my my non-phone foundations hat on, would it be possible for, since you know a bit more about it, could you take a work item to try to clear up the release plans now or as soon as possible, so that we can know about which time we'd be reforking, I guess, so that we compare with when Pulse Audio is going to be sufficiently advanced and ready to ship its new version with the BlueZ5 patches, so that we can go ahead with BlueZ5 on the desktop without having to worry about how it works on the phone too much.
Right. I got an action item for it.
Yeah, and so anyway, we need maybe to start to work on that in a PPA to handle the transition and have some feedback on the testing. So and then we can see for mitigating from the RTM, the new RTM rebase and Vivid. And if we have just to delay, for a couple of weeks, then it's good because we're already testing on the PPA, and so we can, hold it back and not pushing that to Ubuntu. Well, normally we will be able to do that until feature freeze. So there is,
yeah, I was about to say the same. David mentioned on IRC that the BlueZ5 stuff isn't Pulse Audio yet. So at least as far as making BlueZ5 work on straight Ubuntu, it needs to be tested. It would need to be tested in a PPA so that we can know with the Pulse Audio bits in, with the BlueZ5 update, that everything is working together properly, and then from there we can also test the applications that depend on BlueZ and make sure that all of those keep working as well.
Yeah, and there is as well some KD bits, KD bytes that will come as well. So I just passed in on IRC the link for the PPA. It's the virtualized PPA, meaning that even in the end we will just do a binary copy to the distro directly. So, Mathieu, when do you think that we'll be able, well, first, do you need help to finish up the Bluez, the Blues part, or do you think that you'll be able to push it yourself soon in the PPA?
There's very few patches, as far as I remember, in BlueZ4, and as I mentioned, it's mostly just a merge from Debian, so I think I can do that. Now-ish, what I mean by that is it's not currently in my prioritized tasks for work, but I can do that on my own time.
Okay, so merge. Let's try this. Okay. Okay, so there is that, and then there is a question of Pulse Audio. So it seems that that the week has some reference to the upstream patches. So I think I will just add a work item for you to to push Pulse Audio plus patches in the PPA.
This is basically Pulse Audio Git, right? I know that I think like ideally we want to integrate Pulse Audio 6, and I know that they're about to plan a release for the 6.0.
Perhaps Dewey, you can respond to this, but I was thinking I was under the impression that your plan was something like taking a snapshot from Git for Pulse Audio and then taking the bits and splitting the Bluez 4 and the Bluez 5 support so that we could have each interchangeably or something.
Yeah, because I'm not seeing anything especially, in Debian for this. I didn't check, all the uploads, but I don't see any Pulse Audio plus, version from Git. I wonder what they are doing.
I don't know. There's something that we discussed is like trying to at least to Pulse Audio 5, maybe Pulse Audio 6 first. That's something that is doable in case and like still be compatible with Bluez 4. I don't know how much we're gonna gain from that.
Yeah.
But that's something that we can do. And then the other, of course, like we need the extra patches for proper Bluez 5.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see when he will answer. Okay. So 6 will support both Bluez 4 and 5. So good. At least it's not a deadlock.
Yeah, and now for the desktop, like what is currently blocking Bluez 5, basically?
Well, from the GNOME desktop, nothing more. We have some. There is a lot of air dependencies that are in Universe in particular, but I checked, for some of them, and the work is already there either upstream or in Debian. So it's just a question of spending time, doing that. There is like 30 air dependencies, so it's just about checking. Yeah, because we didn't tell it, but part of the issue with the transition, if people are not aware, is that they broke the RDBus API. And so that's why, transitioning is quite difficult because there is no backward compatibility. And so we need either to ship new version upstream or just have patches for this new API. Yeah, so there is, I don't know, I think as well, like, Universe, there is a lot of projects that are not working anymore. Like if I try to start GNOME Phone Manager, for instance, it was segfaulting. So I think, I will just go one by one and clean up what doesn't work, take what we can from Debian, and just, drop the rest. If there is not a lot of, people basically using those.
I'm kind of concerned, and of course, like we do have like a bunch of things in the universe and so on. But I'm mostly concerned with the community builds that we have, like either like Ubuntu, like KDE, Kubuntu, like GNOME, and
so most of these two are still in it, but I think only 2 bits of big integration that we needed to discuss. The first one was KDE, and so as Shad's layer is telling, there is a new Blue Devil which has been ported to Bluez 5. So basically, I need to write that. So it's something that we just need to ship or to backport, even with our help, to the PPA. Ship. Okay, so KDE upstream does not support Bluez 4, so that's
kind of what I expected for like the higher, let's say, the more popular distributions. Many of them have already moved to Bluez 5. When I mean distributions, I mean the desktop environments. Partly because Fedora has moved to Bluez 5 and broken a lot of stuff in the process.
And so apart from Pulse Audio and Network Manager, I didn't see other, in the air dependency list. I didn't see any other applets or whatsoever.
There's another one. You should note Ophono, which needs to be updated so as to again add the support for Bluez 5.
All right. Yeah, that's one of the actions I got is to rebase the funnel with the latest version. I just put that way here.
Okay.
That one is actually much more intensive work than probably most of the other updates that we need to do, because there are so many changes that we carry in Ophono for the phone.
Yeah, but at least like
but
from the stuff that I check, while like Ophono changed it quite a bit, not much on the infrastructure side. Like Ophono is not that active anymore lately. So we got like most of the patches were like that I saw at least like a few weeks ago were later with losing in one sense or another. So
right,
I'm
not saying it's
it
going to take longer, just that there's more patches, and it's it's something that we need to be more careful in. But there's someone who there are people who know very much, who know very well Ophono, who can deal with that work.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, so the next big piece is evolution. So I will take that one, I guess, and check. There is evolution data server and sync UI as well.
Really, how does evolution make use of Bluez?
Just telling that.
Oh, I think I know. It's probably the context, the context support.
Be able to synchronize contacts over Bluetooth? This is
Yeah, it might be something like that.
Did it ever work?
Maybe not.
Anyway, will be something.
Yeah, in any case, that's cool.
Yeah. If we can give that back. I didn't get any feedback from our LibreOffice maintainer, but LibreOffice Impress as well depends on Bluez.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. I'm less worried about that one, because it's probably just a remote control support. Like,
yeah, I guess
station clicker. So it probably doesn't change very much between Bluez 4 and Bluez 5.
Yeah. Then there is Bluemon and Blueman. Those two I don't know. I think those are going to be big ones, maybe.
Let me just double check. I keep having issues with the name of some of these packages. Yeah, Blueman. I think this one has had a number of issues in the past already, so it's probably. I'm not sure how active the project is itself, so maybe it's going to be a really easy work, and it's just going to be an update of the package, or it's going to be really painful because it doesn't have any Bluez 5 support and the API has changed enough to completely break the application.
Yeah, do you think that, I don't know, I will check as well, what Debian did.
I know there's been enough API changes that it's likely quite broken at the moment if we were to use Bluez 5.
Okay.
Also, isn't Blueman... Again, I don't want to say stupid things, but I thought Blueman was used... Oh, right. It seems to be used probably with Ubuntu, Lubuntu, or Ubuntu Studio.
Yeah. This is the big piece that is used by service. So that's why, this one is part of the most important one. Then there is some OBEX pushd. I think it's for file transfer. Is there anything that needs to be changed in the OBEX profile? Or
I'm sorry?
Is there anything that needs to be changed in the OBEX profile?
Yes, lots of things. Bluez 5 has an OBEXD daemon yet now, so there's a large part of the OBEX API that changed. They replaced some other project with their own stuff. I think it used to be split, and now it's not quite as split as it was. So, OBEX pushd. It depends where it comes from as a source package.
Yeah. Do you want to take ownership of that one, or do you need help?
Take care of that one.
You are taking care of that one, so I will.
Yeah.
I didn't. You okay? So Bluez. It's sorry, Obex star. I think it's only Obex pushed it, but.
Yeah, there's a couple of OBEX packages that need to be tested.
Yeah.
Just to make sure it's all good.
Then I saw that there is Bluesy BTSCO. Do you know what it is? Seems to be a plugin, but.
Yeah, worried too much about it.
Well, at least we need to check and to see if we need to drop it or just don't care. There is as well GRML-BTNET. I think that those guys they like to have acronyms. But I guess for most of these, as they are not seeding by any flavors by default, I will just look at what Debian does and either drop or sync with Debian, or it means that it's already broken in Debian anyway. And so next thing.
Yeah. Grummel, Bitnet, BTNet. Give it to me. I'll look into it because yeah, I think it's just using the command line utilities. So
okay.
I suspect there's probably updates or something that that can be dropped. And as for BTSCO, give it to me as well.
Okay.
I mean I know what this is about, so.
So it's already more than I.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Then there is, so as I told GNOME Phone Manager, I will first check that one, but I think there is not a lot of hope. And lib802, I was surprised for that one. Well, this is Pulse Audio, or this is the Pulse Audio part, I guess. And Intone was the last one. And then there is the seeds to change, of course. So meta packages. Yeah, so it seems that apart from Bluemon and Blueman, well, there is a plan at least for KDE. There is a plan for us. Yeah, Blueman and Blueman seems to be maybe the biggest hurdle that we don't know yet. And all the rest was more or less written. But I kept the big one as the last one, indicator Bluetooth. So who is in charge of that? Is it you, Mathieu, who wrote this? Part of the network manager indicator stack that you dealt with, or is it?
I didn't write it, but I ended up making a few changes to it. I guess you can give it to me for now, and we'll try to figure out who, if somebody from the indicator teams can take care of doing the porting.
Okay. Yeah, because this one as well can be a blocker, I guess.
Yeah.
So that would be, I think it's not linking against Link Bluetooth 3, right? It's using the DBus API.
No, it's using DBus directly.
This, they fix the library. So at first I was looking at the library dependency. This was crazy. And they didn't break the ABI or the API. So everything that depends on that, at least, is fine. Okay. And yeah, so the best for you will be, I guess, to switch that to the distro after the RTM is rebased on Vivid, as Ricardo was telling. But if we can get that, quickly in the API, then we can make a test for calling, code for testing. Sorry. And as well, part of what we want to bring this cycle to it is to be able to have some experimental map MAP support on the desktop, meaning like if you have your phone over Bluetooth, basically all your messages like SMS and so on are sent to your laptop. So that would be cool. Okay, so is there anything else that we need to discuss? Yeah, Jamie has a question. Android devices connected to car stereo, Bluetooth are able to pause plays. So Android devices connecting to car stereos via Bluetooth are able to both display the current track and control the music player. Ubuntu Touch currently can do neither. Will move with this, or is that something different? I saw something.
Well, I don't know if you help. Maybe the implementation. I know that they have like some changes specifically to that, but it is not yet supported. Basically, an integration with Media Hub actually to basically use the Bluez API to export the track data and RTX data and those sort of things. So it's part of our backlog phone, but it's not necessarily related with the Bluez version that we use. It's more like using the API from another client, probably the media client. I mean, in our case, which is Media Hub.
Yeah, but they changed a lot of profiles, I guess, with Bluez 5 and the new OBXD version, and so all those kind of protocols. I'm not sure about that one in particular, but all those kind of protocols have been better. So
yeah, it should have like bug fixes and so on and so forth, but the functionality itself should just work. Oh, okay. The car can control. Yeah, this is something that we also need to hook from an API that is supported from in Bluez. So it's like most of that, for that functionality specifically, most of the work is actually outside of Bluez. So doesn't depend necessarily on it, on which version actually. I don't think we have bugs, but we have like user stories at least on our backlog. I will take a look and let you know.
So I think there was somebody asking me a question earlier about the Pulse Audio release, if we were planning to do like a Git snapshot or something. As it looks now, it looks like RC1 of 6.0 is not too far away. Hopefully this week or next, although you never know until you see it. So my plan was kind of to wait for that, but to make sure that the RC1 is in good enough shape, it would be nice to be able to test Bluez 5 on it, which I haven't been doing so far. So any assistance on how to easiest enable Bluez 5 on this machine so I can go ahead and test will be good.
Sure. So as I mentioned, I think we should just put everything in the PPA that was created, and then test from there.
Yeah.
Sure.
So all core devs have access to the PPA, by the way. So even if it's under T2 desktop namespace, even the KDE guys, the Kubuntu guys, they can push to it. Yeah. Okay. So well, I think that at least you are not blocked on Bluez 5 on as you told, as you have Bluez 4 and Bluez 5 support. But yeah, if you can test in advance, that would be helpful.
Also, Bluez Pulse Audio will ship with two different backends for headsets. One is the native one, and one goes through a phono. I'm trying to land patches for 6.0, which enable us to at least compile both backends into the same compilations. Right now, you have to switch between one or the other at configure time. But I think it would be helpful when we package the stuff if we can compile both at the same go, so to speak.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, that would be great. Okay, so well, I think that's it. Is there any other question on Hersey or any concerns, any fear on anything? Okay, so well, let's think of that, on the PPA. Let's try to have something working. I can some cycle as well, helping or at least trying to coordinate, if anything, and then we'll do the call for testing and see how it goes for people.
Yep.
Separate to Bluez 5 so that we can break it. Yeah, exactly. That's the spirit. Let's break that. Hopefully, without touching too much RTM and not get fired. So there is a question.
Right. We'll take the responsibility of flashing this on Blueprint or something.
Yeah, I will. Don't worry.
All right.
So there's a question on IRC. Current Blueman version unloads module Bluetooth Discover from Pulse Audio.
Right, I think I can take that one. I think we've been talking to the Blueman developers to make sure that shouldn't be happening, because it kind of broke our auto detection. There is a big bug about that. I'm not sure how far the Blueman people have come with that, but until that is done, I'm currently recommending people not to use Blueman.
Looks like it's fixed in Blueman 2.0. So Zamtir, do you know if well, I guess I can just as well check by myself, but do you know if Bluez, if it passes to Bluez 5 or if it's still on Bluez 4? Because then we can just update Blueman to 2.0 for the development release just now, and at least that is going to be taken care of.
Yeah, and Debian is shipping Blueman 1.99 till Alpha 1. So we can do that as well, I guess.
Oh, I see now what. Okay, so that's the not released yet.
Yeah. So maybe
we can just merge with Debian, and it's probably going to be good enough.
Yeah, at least not worse, let's say.
Yeah.
And we already have a Git version of Blueman anyway, from June. With a strange version, by the way, -dev. Okay, interesting. Yeah, so Blueman 2 supports Bluez 5. Okay, yeah, so
we're going to need to test it carefully, because Debian has already moved to Bluez 5.
Yeah, so Blueman and Blueman, the two. I think we just rebase on Debian, merge what's need to be merged and check.
Well, I mean, I'll do the merge and then I'll upload it to the PPA, and we can.
Oh, so you are, because now you send those to me, so that you have already quite a lot, especially with indicator and the rest.
Sure, but
I can do it.
I am actually wrong anyway. It would need to be merged and put in the PPA anyway, but first we should merge it and not put it in the PPA, but put it somewhere else, so we can give it a shot with Bluez 4 and make sure it works properly.
Sure. Sure. Do you have any test case for Blueman?
I have a bunch of test cases for Bluetooth. I'll share with them if I can find the wiki page again. Basically testing that you can still pair headsets, that you can still pair a phone, for instance, transfer files to it, and that will give us a good idea that stuff is working.
Yeah. And do you know about the LTE support, by the way, Ricardo, if anything needs to be done to enable it, or is it just come for free with the new profiles?
Sorry, can you repeat the question again?
For the low energy mode, basically, is it coming from free with Bluez 5, or is there anything
that? It does, but it's also already available in Bluez 4 if you're willing to spend the time to make it work.
Okay. But so basically just updating it, and then no con change, we will get it, or do we need to spend time to enable it?
No, that's what I'm trying to say. You already have what you need to support Bluetooth LE devices, but in Bluez 5 what you get is pre-made extra profiles for stuff like thermometers and some other very specific devices. So that rather than using the generic attribute profile to get the data and parse it yourself, it's already done for you in some of these profiles.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
One thing that we need to do in there is not a matter of like supporting how we actually support it, but is more what is a little bit more complicated, and what should we export officially as part of our SDK. So, for example, currently we are not like, while we have, of course, like the Bluez dbuzz API, that's not like like part of our official. Is not part of our SDK. So while apps could use it, that could change over the time, and it's not going to be stable on backport compatibility or those sort of things. And so I know that on Kilt, they added like, I think it's going to be like part of the 5.4 release. They added like some abstraction for GET basically. So like applications could use Qt directly, the Qt connectivity, I guess, or something along the line, Qt Bluez, or to basically Qt Bluetooth to use that class to talk with the Bluez devices. But like whatever, like we make it official, either like Bluez 4 or 5. Is commanding the API, make sure that it's official part of our SDK, and it's something that we support over the time. So ideally, that should happen on top of Bluez 5, but it can depend on, of course, like on product requirement. It can come with Bluez 4, but that would basically only affect RTM at this point, I guess. So
Yeah.
not much sure.
Okay. Is there anything else? Okay, seems not. So now I guess it's just a question of just do it.
Yep.
And so let's sync up on IRC anyway on that through that cycle, and let's hope that you have a new shiny Bluetooth stack in Vivid. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.
Ciao.